Bună ziua și bine ați venit la o nouă ediție ZF Tech Day, emisiune realizată de Orange Business în parteneriat cu Ziarul Financiar. Eu sunt Adrian Săcelanu, jurnalist ZF, iar pentru emisiunea de astăzi vă propun o reîntâlnire cu subiectul serviciului Mobility Manager, dezvoltat de Orange Business. Îi vom avea alături de noi din nou pe Andreea Saharov, B2B Corporate Operations Manager în cadrul Orange Business, și pe Cristian Turcin, Lead Cloud Collocation and Professional Services în cadrul Orange Business, însă îi vom asculta vorbind dintr-un unghi diferit despre povestea Mobility Manager. Mai exact, vom urmări o prezentare susținută de cei doi reprezentanți ai Orange în cadrul conferinței PRAU 2025 din Timișoara, un eveniment dedicat construirii de expertiză în construcția de produse digitale, în care cei doi au dezvăluit cum este construit un asemenea serviciu într-o companie de dimensiunile Orange și care sunt factorii care contează cel mai mult în atingerea rezultatelor de vânzări scontate și care sunt pașii de urmat pentru a crește rata de adopție. Vă propun să urmăriți în continuare lecția de construcție a unui produs digital oferită de Andreea Saharov și Cristian Turcin de la Orange România.
Proud to be again at Proud. Happy to share with you today again. But I will start with a tagline that success of a product doesn't necessarily rely on features. And I have extended discussions during the conference with you in Timișoara and the participants to see why. And I will tell you later. But today we will share from our story of how we build a product based on customer needs. And we thought it will be successful. Therefore, we built it, we launched it, and it didn't get the expected adoption. The product was built here in Romania by us in Orange for the Romanian market, just to put the context. And to add another context and another dimension, I feel like everybody remembers how Uber or Bolt entered the market. It was a niche, beautiful product that was finally competing with the classic taxi drivers, and everybody was super happy, but was still a niche product. So they need not to add more feature, but to solve the context, meaning discussing with the states in order to fix the law, in order to pay the taxes similar to the taxi drivers and so on and so forth, in order to scale. So it was not about features, it was about the context. And I will give the most beautiful example of today and to our days is like ChatGPT, because it's a beautiful brand. And they said they have 800 million users and 20 million paid subscribers with their investments, which is less than 5%. And I will be happy to follow them in order to see if this will grow as they are expected it. Therefore, again, about success and features. I give you a context, I will give you our context that we are working. Me as a lead product, and I was happy that Thomas put a bit of a light about who is responsible in a company, about success and failure of the products. In some companies, the lead product is. I'm leading 3 product lines. It's like cloud, data center, and professional services in Orange Romania in B2B. Around 10 products amongst my colleagues that are running together 60 products. And we are not counting twice or third. We are handling like day-to-day basis more than and interacted with more than 10 stakeholders, starting from sales, pre-sales, legal, engineers, software developers, regulatory, customers, customer experience, and all these products and product departments and stakeholders through which I am getting in contact day by day, if I want or if I don't want, because they are reaching me, being the single person of contact for my product if something bad is happening. They are reaching also for minor details, but mainly if it's about things that they need, they come to me. So every year, a lead product amongst with product management department, which resides in marketing in Orange, is not residing in technology department, we are launching, reshaping or retiring products in the Romanian market in different ways. Therefore, I, with my other colleagues as lead products, we are trying to keep this circus alive between customers, business, and technical departments. And I will let Andreea to give you a bit of a show of what's happening in customer experience now.
So, for a perspective of business and customer operations, we are dealing monthly with 1,000 interactions from our customers. So, based on the NPS collected, NPS is the Net Promoter Score, the KPI that measures the customer experience, we are doing this over expectations. However, in our telecom competitive market, we are fighting daily to differentiate ourselves and to bring in our customers' life more positivity and a lot of great interactions. So related to the large enterprises, the approach is somehow different. With more focus on the specific of human interactions, and we need a lot of consultancy there. So, having this in mind, we created a product that brings in our customers a complete experience. We don't want to sell only products and services, but a complete experience to the customers. So this is a moment that we launch a new product, the Mobility Manager, that Cristi will tell you more about.
How it started, I already told you that our product was based directly on customer input. There we were in a context, the customers came to us, and we were happy as the product. The customers came to us and said, I need you to build this for us because we are in need because of our context. And we said we are happy to do that. And we built Mobility Manager, which actually is a professional services, through which we are giving a dedicated person in Orange to manage all the mobility of the customers, meaning subscriptions, devices, and so on. Imagine a new employer or a new employee of a customer is coming to work and they need to find on the desk a working mobile device with a working subscription fitted to his position, with applications installed, with the VPN installed, and so on and so forth, not to delay the work and the way that the employee feels at the first day. The product is not necessarily important. You will find it on our website if you want, but I want to emphasize that it's a real product. We build it, we launch it, and then the reality of the money, as Thomas said, hit us, meaning the revenue expectation. And I will look to Andreea to explain a bit how this happened.
Well, we launched, we celebrate the success. All the customers that acquired the product were very happy related to the features on the product and its functionalities. So it was a success for the customers. But we faced soon that we had a slower adoption rate than expected. It was not about the customer this time. It was something else. We were asked ourselves, what about this? And we find out that even if we analyze the customer base, we had a unique product in the Romanian market with good features designed together with our customers. We realized that something it doesn't go as expected. So we started to look somehow internally. We focus, it's true that we focus more on the customer's needs and less on what's happening internally. When working with a lot of products, as Cristi said before, we are managing over 60 products in our company. Sometimes there are clashes when we are talking about sales priorities. We didn't look at what was the priority of the product in sales portfolio. So somehow it was the moment that we realized that we have to change something internally. We have to check again how the product works with other products and with sales targets.
And that's my lovely part, how we found out what happened actually and why it didn't get the expected traction or at least the forecast that we put on the product. And of course we are looking at the data, at dashboards, at reports. We are doing alignment meetings with the stakeholders like sales, the one they build it, customer experience to find out what customers are saying. That's business as usual for us. But the dashboards tell us what we already see because we check them often. It didn't get the traction. So it's telling me what is happening. There are no sales or no customers, or the percentage of the sales versus the targets is not the one that we expected, and so on and so on. So data, it's telling in product department, and for me as a lead product, that's telling me what happens. It didn't take the traction. In alignment meetings, there are formal meetings within the companies where all the stakeholders are coming and we are trying to find out what's happening. Not always they are telling the entire situation, let's put it like this. Why? They don't want to put the focus on them. Therefore, what we are doing, and we start to do from a moment, we have this informal intelligence, meaning that we are always talking with our colleagues, also in a sort of informal way, about not only the weather or the traffic, but also about the products. And I'm going through floors and discussing with my colleagues to try to find out as a product what's happening after the weather and traffic. They know me that from time to time, not only when something bad is happening from this perspective of traction or of sales, but also when something nice is happening, and I'll try to understand why. So my key takeaway and my success in some part of the product management are also those informal intelligence, as I said, and I'm finding out a lot of things also in these conferences. When I'm meeting with my local colleagues from Timișoara or from other cities, they're telling me on an informal way what really happens. And that's not something that it shouldn't happen, because actually I'm piling up and I'm constructing all this puzzle and I'm coming back and I'm fixing it. Because we as elite products, we need to fix also the responsibility of the revenue that we have. And also, there is a question that I see it around, how you can predict this. And I will let Andreea tell us a few words about it.
Maybe you are asking now how we can predict. We didn't find the answer. I think sometimes it's impossible to do this. But what you have to do, what we have to do, is to be ready to act when this happens, to be ready to look also outside the features, also outside the functionality of a product, to ask ourselves and our colleagues, it's true that some first formally and after that maybe informally, to find out what didn't work. So this happened in our company in a complex ecosystems while working with a lot of products, a lot of stakeholders, and sometimes even if you have a lot of meetings before launching a product, while building the product, we are discussing each other, do the planning and everything by the book. Sometimes there are little things that doesn't come front of on the table, and we cannot act on it. So our recommendation in those cases is to stand up from your desk and go to talk to your colleagues. Go to talk to sales, go to talk to marketing, go to talk to implementations teams, because there are small things you can fix it just discovering and do it very fast.
I can add that that should be the superpower of a product in order to have the ability to discuss with tech people or with software developers. Because I think there is a perspective. We are very used to that because we are building with engineers all the time. We are sitting on the same table. We are discussing it with them every day because we are coming from a telco company that is building connectivity, cloud, data center, cybersecurity, and so on. So when we build, we are building with them. Despite the fact that we are in marketing, we are extroverts and we are acting differently like them. But because I have some objectives, I need to know how to deal with engineers, with software developers, to make them happy, to make them feel comfortable in order to build what we plan, what the strategy says, and so on, to be successful. But also, after we launch it, to understand from the real ground and from the reality check, not only from the customers, because I can tell you in Romania, the customer have a fast line in customer experience when something happens. We know in the 2 seconds. They are calling us. But also what's happening internal, where it's a bottleneck. You need to go to engineers department and talk to them informally, because formally, most of the time, they will tell you and you won't find out because they're written very nice, something deterministic. And sometimes they are hiding behind them is like, we check all the features, all the flows, everything. Look, this is the proof. And it's okay, and you cannot say anything. The reality is that we fix it mostly when we did these informal talks. How we solve it actually? That was the problem of a go-to-market alignment with our core products in terms of marketing. I need to know how a product clashes or not with other products. We have 60. And a sales team, for a large enterprise, for example, they need to sell 60 products. Of course, there are some complications, some priorities, and so on and so forth. But sometimes, for example, they choose what to sell from different perspectives. I need to align a product if it's converging with a core services like this mobility manager with our mobile subscription. It converges a lot. So I need to understand from sales or from customer experience how to rewire the go-to-market alignment in order not to clash with the core products, which is the priority of us, or not to clash with incentives, or not to clash with other important things of any departments, like a priority in technical departments, on the delivery department, and so on and so forth. So I need to go and find out and get up from my desk and talk informally with them and be pleasant with them, because if I want, the second time they are not responding. So, our key message from today is that success doesn't rely only on features, because in the real world, features are not enough. That was the message that was the key message of the presentation. Yes, something like this. If you don't like it, you can say it like this. It's okay. However, we are not closing with this. As Orange, we are performing a lot of things and we are doing a lot, and we like the challenges. Therefore, today, for you all in Timișoara, we are presenting a network API challenge, which is a international hackathon, which is run by Orange Group. And in Romania, there is a special edition where we're opening our network APIs through which startups, academia, small companies, and whoever enroll to our website can use those APIs to build products or solutions. So you will have access to Orange Network APIs, you will have access to internal mentors or experts, and also to our international network in Orange Fab, which is our startup accelerator. You can reach the program here to find more details and enroll if you want. That's a unique challenge because a telco in Romania is opening the network APIs for the public to play with it and to build products. For any questions or any other discussions that you want to do with us, with both of us, we are staying here all the day. This is our LinkedIn's. You can connect with us, send a message afterwards if you want. We are more than happy and open to discuss with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I actually have quite, I mean, the everyday life indeed showcases that metrics are saying something and people are saying why we're doing something. And it's also quite common to have competing targets. In this case, product having a target and sales having a different maybe target, or they prioritize something else. And most of your speech was a lot around how you fix this. My curiosity is, how do you mitigate this? How do you do it in advance? Instead of having a reactive approach, how do we ensure a proactive approach, if that makes sense?
In order to predict that, or just to avoid this kind of mistake of internal misalignment with something, there are methodologies before you launch it to look at all these dimensions, and we have procedures and methodologies. Sometimes there are some contexts, and I don't want to mention that context, that push us very fast in order to launch in the market, and sometimes to skip some steps. In a normal way, we are looking at all of this and we are aligning with stakeholders before we launch. And if you find something that is misaligned badly, we are not launching it. And take the responsibility in order to fix that.
Okay, but that's in a rather larger organization where you have the decision power to decide if you launch later or not, right? But if you're a mid-sized company and you're a project, like a product manager, and you have to push the said feature or product, and there is still a competing component and no methodology in place, like what would you recommend me? I'm, you know, your average CMO trying to push something on the market, and the sales are like, nope, not today.
So for us, I will try to answer because I was in direct contact with customers at that moment, and it was a real request to allow them to outsource the support services to their telecom operator. So it was like, you have to do this, and as soon as possible, we needed to be ready to launch the product. We prepared everything. We did those formal meetings. We did what the book said to do, but we did it in a faster way and with a lot of focus on the features this time and the functionalities of the product. So our decision, in my opinion, it was a good decision to launch at that moment, even if we, after a time, realized that it's something that we have to fix it. We did it, and we had an excellent feedback from the customers at the moment. And for us, was very important this. We had to fix it internally, it's right,
Of course.
but for me, it was a good decision to launch it.
That makes perfect sense.
I can add up from a product perspective that, okay, you don't have all this complexity on all these procedures through which you are filtered with your decision as a product in a small company, but I presume that also in small, medium enterprises, product managers are doing their homework in order to validate, in order to see the market, and trying their best in order to see if that product fits the market. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes, for a small, medium, that's a major hit than to a bigger one who launch a lot. But I think on the short, do your homework as best as you can.
Which actually goes exactly to one of the questions we have. Before launching, have you done a product market fit analysis or the drive for creating launching where the sales teams were specifying the need?
Oh, well, yeah. Also, Thomas mentioned that sales always request features and features and features because there are customers who want features and features and features. I want to be blue, I want to be red, I want to be like a square or rounded, yeah? Everybody wants one thing, but their ability to pay for that is not on the table.
Of course.
To be very short. I mean, and also, you are engaging the factory in the back to build in red, white, which means costs, and you don't necessarily want it. When you have a standard product, you are trying to sell the standard version of it. And if you find that there is a request in the market, you are developing a feature for it or another product to fit the needs of the market. But you need to do the calculations, and also you need to validate if that red request appears so often in terms of internal investments in capacity and in development in order to close that by the revenue or what are you invoicing afterwards. I'm not taking the decision based on what sales is need. I'm building it. If they said the customers want, I'm going it and I'm building it. It passed to a chain of decisions and calculations in order to explain in front of the management why to do that, to give me the money in order to build it. I'm a company, I'm not a startup. In a startup, you can build it, you can fail, you can come back. I cannot fail in front of my management because I can fail just almost once.
I mean, you can fail, it's just not advised. I have a nice question here. You mentioned the product you presented was co-created with your customers. How do you usually approach user research given such a wide market?
I answered to this question on Wednesday evening in an inside event. We have researched made by big companies for whatever we need. We requested it. I want to sell cloud platforms in Romania. I request a research for Romania. I know the data. I know how the market it is. I know what they want. I pay for the research. They're giving me the data. That's the insight. Second, I'm going to customer experience department and I try to find out from them, because they have continuous interactions every day with our customers, what the customer is saying about cloud, AI, whatever.
Fair.
Then I'm going to the sales. That's a valid, real request of it. They are talking about cloud for years. I'm a cloud product manager. And I can also tell you the adoption in Romania, which didn't fit the expectation of the word that was used for years and years. So you need to be very careful of what the customers request from you, because not all the time they have the ability to pay you afterwards. And also, yes, in a large company like us with many segments and with many verticals within segments, we need to look at all the verticals in order to that product to get motion, traction, sales, revenue, and close the cost.
I really want to go with another question, and my request would be to have it like really short response if possible for both of you. How can you get more informal data in formal meetings?
Well, this is easy now that we came back to work. We are working from the office, and sometimes we need a break. So use that breaks to discuss with the colleagues from different departments with stakeholders, use that time to do something different than working on your laptop with your handsets on. And more than that, I think we talk about AI a lot those days, but I think the human touch it's still our superpower, so we have to use it.
Absolutely.
What I'm trying to do all the time is to make the people comfortable in the room, just to say what they need, they want. It's more of a psychological approach. When you feel safe, when you feel in a safe environment, you will tell more than you feel in a fighting environment or in a war room. So try to make the people comfortable. Don't put guilt, shame, stuff like that on it. Just try to open them to tell you that whatever they are telling you, it helps in order to build better products, making more money, and the company thrives, and they will have more money.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you both
Thank you
of
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much.
Aceasta a fost ediția de astăzi a ZF Tech Day. Vă mulțumim pentru că ne-ați urmărit și vă așteptăm și săptămâna viitoare, luni, de la ora 13, pentru o nouă discuție despre business și tehnologie. La revedere!